So let's start with game planning for the Eagles offense. D'Amico, Kyle, let's talk about what you got to do with the defense. Now, as you guys probably are aware, Nick Sirianni is a run first coach. He comes from Indianapolis, where they ran the ball a lot and effectively. And they ran it with statues at quarterback. Phillip Rivers, Jacoby Brissett. Now they have Jalen Hurts and a running back, Miles Sanders, who's really freaking good. Not to mention a center who's really freaking good, an offensive line that's quite good. So, D'Amico, what are you gonna do to stop the run? Because that's your number one. This is a run first team. Your mindset has to be stopping the run first. And you couldn't do that against the Lions. The Lions had Jared Goff at quarterback, not a run threat, and DeAndre Swift, who's not as good as Miles Sanders, and split belly zone was too much for you. That's where the tackle and guard block down on the 3 technique defensive tackle. You know this, D'Amico. And the tight end peels across the formation from behind, takes out the defensive end, big hole between the defensive end and the defensive tackle. You guys couldn't fix that. Now, not having Javon Kinlaw was a big deal. You may have him in this game. And if you do have him, you should be okay. But if you don't, here's the thing. You know what Robert Saleh would do, D'Amico. If the wide 9 wasn't working, he would have another front he could go to. A 5-man front, a shaded front, an under front, an over front, something that he could go to that he would use when he needs to stop the run. Because I know Robert Saleh very well. He implemented the wide 9 specifically to stop pass first teams that use one back running games. That's not the Eagles. When he goes against a run first team that has a zone read running game with the quarterback involved, he used a 5-man front. Go back, D'Amico, and watch the tape of the 2019 Niners game against the Ravens when they faced Lamar Jackson. They used a totally different defense in that game, and they did a very good job against Lamar Jackson in that running game. That's what you're going to have to do. I'm not saying get rid of the wide 9 immediately, D'Amico, especially if you have Javon Kinlaw. You can give it a shot. That's your identity, what you want to do. But if it doesn't work, there's got to be something, a changeup. Wide 9 is your fastball. Do you have a changeup? Do you have a curveball? Because the Colts have a million defensive fronts, and they have a bunch of different things they can do to try to confuse and thwart the 49ers running attack. And you know that, Kyle. What do you got, D'Amico? You got to have some 5-man fronts in here. I know that Robert Saleh always felt when he was going up against a 2-back running game or a zone read running game where the quarterback is involved, essentially a second running back, that you need to have a 5-man front. The wide 9 is not for that. The wide 9 is for pocket passers and 1-back running games. That's not what you're facing here. And honestly, that couldn't stop that's what you faced last week in Detroit. And it couldn't stop that because you didn't have Javon Kinlaw. And you know what? Eric Armstead may not play either. He seems even less healthy than Kinlaw. So if you don't have Kinlaw, Armstead, Dre Greenlaw, that's 3 starters in your front 7. That wide 9, what they're going to do, the Eagles, most likely, D'Amico, they have 2 really good tight ends, Zach Ertz, Dallas Goedert. Do a 2 tight end formation where one guy's on one side, one guy's on the other. It's called a balanced formation, 7 across the front. That takes a wide front and makes it even wider, puts more space between the defensive ends and the defensive tackles. And what you end up doing is isolating both defensive tackles and the linebackers behind them. As coaches would call them, as you guys call them, you make them Gilligans. And now you're isolating DJ Jones, Zach Kerr, Demetrius Flanagan-Foles, Azeez Al-Shaair. The Eagles will take that. So give it a shot. If it doesn't work, what is your 5-man front? What is your secondary front? I don't know. Tell me, D'Amico. I'm looking to see that. That's the first thing I'm looking for with this defense. You can't let a gimmick wide 9 front get gouged for 200 yards between the tackles. Can't let that happen. You'll lose. You got to have a way to prevent. That's the easiest way for the Eagles to win this game.